So generally speaking, we see more and more clients adopting the cloud, and yeah, we've yeah already discussed it in other sessions. But when you are adopting the cloud and you are actually utilizing all of the services that Microsoft has to offer within a Microsoft suite like M365, E3, or E5, your negotiation position over time will change. And in the Netherlands, we've seen actually two projects of clients that were fully deployed on M365 E5 and using all of the services that Microsoft has to offer. And we had a very tough negotiation there going on, because basically what Microsoft said is, well, thank you for all your business. You have adopted Azure, you have adopted Dynamics, you have adopted M360 E5. And in exchange, we will not give you any discount. Where this client had a very, very high discounts in their previous agreement. So you see, Microsoft is really changing there. If you really have adopted the cloud, the Microsoft cloud, and you are using the services, they will not give you any discount anymore. So very tough negotiation there going on. So it literally took 3 months after expiration to get a proper agreement in place. So it really is quite a struggle to get a good result out of cases that are fully deployed in the Microsoft cloud. And we wanted to inform you, to let you know, if you are signing up for a Microsoft E5 deal, and we see that a lot in the Dutch hospital market now and in the municipality market. If you are signing up for it, just be cautious that when your agreement will end, that you will adopt all of the services. Your negotiation outlook is not very positive and not very good. And where discounts up to 30% were possible in the past, once you have deployed, that's not possible anymore. Just to set your expectations towards the future. And we therefore always say, well, then you should, if it's not possible to get the high discounts anymore and you want to save on your licensing cost, invest more on license optimization, just to make sure you are recognizing the right user profiles and acknowledging the right profiles internally. Floris, this is always something you have a very clear vision on. What's your opinion with regards to this?
Yeah, I feel quite strongly about this, and it was already when we worked at Microsoft, we were already dealing with this. So anytime we had a renewal with a customer of ours, immediately it was like, it's been common practice. Oh, you have this and you want to continue what you currently have been buying. Well, here's a 0% discount. So you either innovate, and with innovate, Microsoft means buy new stuff that they want to sell you, even if you're not going to use it. Then you're not getting any discounts. And we did that. It was common practice. It still is common practice. But what you see happening now is, even if you are already buying the holy grail of Microsoft in Microsoft 365 E5, for instance, they're going to put the thumb screws on you, and they're going to tell you, indeed, what Eric's saying, that, well, you're using the services now, so you take the value from the suite, so you better increase your budget on the enterprise agreement by 30%. And we always try to find ways how to counter that. So there's a couple of things to unwrap here. You initially, when you want to do your preparation for your EA renewal, you want to figure out what is it exactly that I'm using from the suite, because there's so many products in there. You definitely want to know just exactly what you are using. And then you want to know, are there other ways I can license this? Can I identify users in my organization that might not need the full functionality from this suite? Because you might have been persuaded to buy E5 for your whole organization, but you don't really need it for your entire organization. So look into different profiles. Can I use E3 with an E5 security suite and maybe E5 compliance, because we're not using the full Power BI and Teams phone functionality? Or can I even move some of my blue collar workers to an F suite like F1 or F3 with the right security and compliance features if you're using that. And that way you're able to save a lot on your workplace cost. Additionally, you always want to check for clutter in your environment. And I talk a lot about this in a previous session that I did on Microsoft Cloud optimizations, where I give you some items that you can look at in your environment in order to scale down the amount of licenses you actually need and move towards different solutions. So do check that out and benefit from this, because if you are an E5 customer of Microsoft and you're currently enjoying a high discount, that will most likely be reduced. Unless, of course, you're willing to buy and invest in all the new stuff that Microsoft wants you to buy, like Power Apps, Viva, Sustainability Manager. What else have we seen, Eric, that they are currently focusing on?
It's primarily Power Apps and Viva now. There's not a proposal that Microsoft does not send out that has Power Apps or Viva in it. So that's their main focus point right now.
And it ties into the next item as well, so the decrease in discounts. So across the board, and we talked about E5, for instance, in this case, but across the board, Microsoft is reducing discounts. So we all know we might be at the forefront of a recession. Microsoft is pretty anxious when it comes to their market numbers, obviously. And I think today even, or no? Oh, it's already been, the numbers of Microsoft will be released. But it remains to be seen how the market reacts to this. And they want to keep being at the forefront of the cloud world and focusing heavily on this. So anything they can do to increase their revenue numbers, they will do. And how they do it now mainly is by trying to reduce your discounts. So if you are in a country where your cloud saturation is quite high, the next time you're going to renew your enterprise agreement, or you're up for a CSP renewal because your annual price lock is up, your time is up, you will probably see that your prices will increase across the board, and especially with these programmatic price increases that they have done. So how they typically do it now is they might be willing and able to offer you a nice discount, potentially never as high as you previously had, but they work with these ramps, and any deal will currently be ramped as far as we see, and they are focusing very heavily on that. And in previous sessions we've talked about this as well. What's the reason behind it? Well, the reason behind this is simply Microsoft wants to have the exit discount for the contract as low as possible. And an exit discount means that they look at the final year of your contract, the value of the contract at that moment in time, and they will use that as their base for the new negotiation. So they might have given you an average discount of for instance, 25%, but your final year was 10%. They will say, oh, but you only had a 10% discount and you're currently enjoying the value from all our products. So why should we give you a higher discount than 10%? And this is the way they want to operate. This is the way they want to work. And this is the way they want to make sure that they always have the option to get more money in the bank by selling you the same amount of licenses.
Yeah, I agree. So generally speaking, clients base their budget based upon the last year's spent. So Microsoft just, is following a strategy where they know that the client will probably base their budget based upon the spend in the last year, not upon the past 3 years. So that makes it actually quite easy for them to do that. It's very smart of Microsoft, but we feel clients should counter that and always use the average discount in their discussion as well.
And how would you counter it up front? What have you seen in the past year on?
Yeah, so what we've seen in the past year is that usually there are quite some gaps when Microsoft is applying a ramp discount, and of course, as you said, with the goal to keep the discount in year 3 as low as possible. So we would say if you can do a good average discount, but keep the discount in year 3 as high as possible, that would be my recommendation, because then of course you will have a lower discounts in your next enterprise agreement. But at least if you have, for instance, if you have a ramp that's 13, 15, 5, then the exit discount is 5%, where it could be very beneficial to start with 30, 25, 20, and 20% is your last exit discount. So there are a lot of possibilities with regards to negotiation in that way. So that would be my recommendation, to tackle that upfront instead of after the fact. And what we also see in addition is, now with the inflation going up and we anticipate more and more price increases, it also could be beneficial to start a discussion around having a longer enterprise agreement. For instance, negotiate a price lock for your 4 and 5, or even negotiate a 5-year agreement if Microsoft is up for that, just to ensure a price lock and avoid unnecessary costs in the future.